Are you ready? You think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Comic Clowns Podcast, your first week of December. How's everybody doing? Live studio. All right, my name is Bruce Ford, Chief Hoover. With me today, I've got
Mark, the Dwarf Kokiachik,
Chris, the Enforcer Vasquez,
Kyle, Darth Cooch Cookenbecker,
and Grant Caracas 4047 Caller.
All right, and we are fresh off of Collision Con. I'm talking, we haven't been in the booth in a while, so I kind of miss it. I miss coming in here and talking. I think we all did.
Yeah.
But while we were at Collision Con, we got to do a panel as well, which was exciting.
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Highly intoxicating.
That's great.
I know it
Never
said,
drink during the panel.
I know it
Right.
said not to drink during the panel, but I think it brought that something extra.
Hey, who said we couldn't drink during that panel?
The guy who's sitting behind you.
Hi, Chris.
Oh, what's up, Chris?
Hi, Chris.
Just let you know I was drinking.
All right, so we're recording here at WCJO 1590 AM. You guys can see us once again if you're watching this on our YouTube flick. We got the cameras up. We got a better computer, so hopefully all of our audio doesn't get corrupted again.
Good.
Because that
Hopefully.
was a huge pain in the ass.
And if it does, I'm just going to break this computer.
At least our fans know we learn from our mistakes.
We have fans?
We have fans?
They can learn.
They can learn, yes!
I thought we had a fan.
And how dare you assume that we make mistakes?
Wives and girlfriends don't count.
So we got ourselves?
More or less.
All right.
Hey, I touch myself to my own sound on my own voice, okay? I don't care what any of you say.
I wouldn't put it past you with how much you talk.
Oh!
Yeah, I know.
He's not saying no.
As you can hear, we also got Minuteman behind me who just can't sit in a corner and be quiet like he did at prom. Okay, so, once again, we're here at 1590 in Evanston, Illinois. We got a full list here. We're recording here. You guys will see us on the video. We do this here. We have some fun. We missed it. With us in the booth today is actually something different. We haven't done this yet. We did a review of Ramen Con. We did a review of Valor Con. We're doing a review of Collision Con. And we actually got Collision Con Chris, who was in here before we went to Collision Con. Which means if we ever talk bad about his convention, he could just stab Chris.
You know, he's the one that's going to end up in the hospital.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Why do I got to be the target, though?
Your closest
How you
Really?
we're back to that.
protagonist. Yeah, I'll go with that too.
How you doing today, Chris?
Oh man, doing great. Really happy to be back in here with you guys.
Oh, man.
Good,
Good
good.
to have you back, man.
That's great. Good to hear. Good to hear. So, I'll start my little thing here. I'll say what I thought. You get to listen to the first-hand review. I personally had a shit ton of fun. I don't know about anybody else. I mean, we got time not just to sit there and just talk. We have to do a panel in front of live people. We got one guy who I don't know who had some really great questions for us, which that panel will be up on YouTube once Gracchus 40 or 47 over here gets it up. We're going to get it transferred to his editing computer. We're going to get it put up.
Yep.
04 Studio was a hell of a help. I mean, that guy, he was like, I could set up the camera and then I'll leave if that's what you guys want me to do. And then he set it up and he's just like, no, this is too good. This is gold. I can't leave. And he just like stood there and he was like, he had a tripod holder, that thing where it presses against your chest and you hold it out here. And he was trying not to shake because he was laughing so hard. He's like, I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
So if you see like shaking in the videos, that's why.
Earthquake.
Earthquake. I got to meet Hercule and Majin Buu.
That was awesome.
Mr. Torque!
Mr. Torque. I had fun with that because we got to sit around and we got like, which kind of angered me. We had a good interview with them. And we got to hear about the Pillsbury Homeboy, which is by far the funniest thing I have ever heard. Mark, how'd that go again?
Nothing says loving like a hit from this puffin.
Oh, these blunts I've been puffing.
Oh, these blunts have been puffing. Sorry.
He does it in the Pillsbury Doughboys. It's on YouTube. Find it, watch it. It is by far the funniest. And here's what angered me is like we had all these like conversations and like we'd have all these talks and we stopped for a minute and went, why do we not record like all of this?
we sat there with him for like 40 minutes just talking to him.
Well, we were
only
trying-
recorded 8.
Well, we were trying to give him the opportunity for fans to come up and actually get autographs and talk to him before us.
Yeah.
Which is why we didn't record at first, but it would have been great if we were recording the whole time.
Oh, yeah. They saw my wall scroll and saw one of the signatures I had on it.
That's right.
Which was Chris Johnson, who was the voice of Future Trunks in the original series. And those two went apeshit.
Yeah.
They were like, where did you get this? This is incredibly rare. Which, I mean, if I wasn't wearing tight, restricting pants, I would have popped a boner and knocked over the table. It was bad. It was awesome, though. I mean, it was really fun. We went down to their first panel, and I took over that panel when they were talking.
Yeah, you did. I was there.
It was fun.
It was great.
Fun. I displayed my nerd knowledge for too much that I need to talk about. That's why I wrote this. And then we went down to their second one, which was the night with Hercule and Boo. And they walked in, and their first words, like, if this is it, the night with Hercule and Boo just got canceled.
Oh.
And it's going to turn into Night with Hercule and Boo with cocktails. So we were going to take it to the bar. So I walked up to him, and I handed him my flask full of Shellback rum and Diet Coke, and he went, ooh, the cocktails came to us.
Just say the word and they appear.
Yep.
Say that again, Chris?
That's why they had so much trouble walking.
We didn't give them O-card or anything like that.
No, we would never.
No, never.
But we had a good time. We talked to them. They had a fun time blast with us. CFF was really fun. We got to do some mannequin challenges for cosplay foam fighting.
Oh, yeah.
Those were fun. Birdie made them completely... It looked bad.
So rapey. So rapey.
So rapey. That mask.
It was great.
I got asked, ComicClowns got asked to hook up a stream for Collision Con, which I was happy to help out with that. Mm-hmm. I really wish you would have given me it the night before.
Would have been helpful, yeah.
Like a little heads up.
I knew about it. I was trying to find him, but he's running around.
Being a human fire
he was running around and everything, and then so I'm like, I knew he was busy, so I'm just like, oh god, I'm gonna have to rush in there and start working, and I did, and we got it up and going, so I was happy with it. Well, Kyle, your first event, what do you think?
Oh, I had a blast. I mean, Hercule and Satan or Boo, same guy. Hercule and Boo were, it was great. I mean, we'd be walking around the convention, they'd stop us and just shoot the shit with us more after the interview and everything. So, it was a great time seeing CFF and what they actually do. I had a blast.
What about Chris, Collision Con Chris? What was your? I mean, let's forget money. Let's forget like anything else around that one. As a con head, if you get to walk around your convention for like a minute and look at it, like an overall thing, what did you think of it? Like, as like a fan of, would you be happy with the product you put out?
Absolutely, and that's what we try and ask people when we ask for feedback for the show. Like, separate how many people were there. Separate if you made money or lost money. If you're like a vendor or something, it's look at like the program book, and is this a show that you really want to go to? And myself, like the programming was so solid. I was really happy in that aspect this year.
That's great. I mean that's a great success, right, for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I did have one question. Was there anything against you selling food? Like, I go to conventions, and me and Chris, we look for an artist alley, a vendor hall, but there's one thing in particular we look for: Pocky ramen.
Yep.
And could not find. Oh, and my Panda Yummies, aka Quality Yummies, for the children out there. They're amazing. I don't care what you say. They're my favorite little snack food. I share them with my daughter. Was there anything against that, or you just didn't find a vendor to do that?
No, absolutely. There's it was a line item in the contract that we could not have food for sale because of the health restrictions, all their permits, the venue itself set that restriction.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's a little disappointing, but we understand, guidelines. You have to follow the rules, and
I know you were talking about putting there was a little fireplace though. You wanted to put a maid cafe there, and I think without that there, that kind of like. That would have been like a great meeting ground, but it kind of like, to me, without that, it kind of took away from like that one area. That kind of killed it. That was the one downside I found. I didn't like the fact that we couldn't have like that little meeting ground. Let's go to the maid cafe, and they just told us no. I mean, was that something you tried to fight for, or
that space you're actually talking about, we didn't have technically.
Ooh.
Like all the way up to there was a couple issues with the hotel, which any show is going to run into this same sort of problem. Yeah. So it's not unique to us, and any form. But we did want to get that space. Ultimately, we didn't have it on contract, so we couldn't use it. If we did have it, we would have set up that maid cafe, and it would have been like snacks and desserts and stuff through the hotel. Like you've seen many other shows do maid cafes. They're all pretty similar to each other.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
What was I going to say here? Grant, this convention was the first convention I met you at. Well, what did you think of it?
Well, so far this one is actually a very small convention compared to the other ones, and I can understand that. And this is also one that jumps around a lot because back in 2012, I believe, you had it back in the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Then it moved to the Crown Plaza in Rosemont, then to the Hyatt, which is where I met most of the people in here at that Collision Con. And now it was at Bloomingdale. So as far as for a small convention that moves around a lot, and it was on the weekend that it was, I had an amazing time out there for what it was.
Awesome. Chris, that being said, the moving around a lot. Now, you and me talked about this before. For those who don't know, you told me you signed like a big deal with that, like for like a contract for like 3 years or something of that nature with that hotel. And they're like, that's awesome. Because that hotel to me was trippy as hell. I loved it. You didn't have to really work out. You just walked because the distance was amazing.
The place was a maze.
Everyone was like, let's carry the weapons from the hotel to the place. I'm like, you haven't walked this yet, okay? Me and Chris walked this before. Drive up to the convention hall, and we're fine. But what you told me also is that they're tearing that bitch down. The convention portion of it.
Really?
Yeah. So it's moving again. How do you feel about that? And do you have any idea on where you want to move it to next?
We are contracted, so I know where we're going to be next. Because we try and set that up before the show each year so we can promote at the show.
Yeah.
Very, very disappointed we weren't able to stay at the same place because that is, one of our big downfalls. Just about every other show picks a place and sticks with it, and we have been a traveling show of sorts. Some of that by choice, some of that by circumstance. So like this coming year, 2017, is by circumstance because we were told the venue itself, the actual function space that we were in, is being torn down. Now, that's to be seen. I heard some conflicting information actually at the show from the hotel, so I can't quote one way or another if the building's going to be there, but we're not going to be there because of the, contract stuff.
Gotcha. I just have this weird feeling that wherever the Comic Clowns go, the convention center or something always gets torn down.
Wow.
We're leaving a path of destruction.
I was gonna say, please don't give us that reputation.
We'll see one doesn't make a pattern.
I was gonna say, Chris, like I was talking to Ben, you're the program manager, and he was like, apparently they offered you a position, like you can have it next year, but we don't exactly know how much space we're technically going to have. Was that what they said, pretty much?
No, it was picked up the phone call or picked up the phone, and they cold called me saying, hey, by the way, space is going to be gone January 1st. So your contract's void.
Oh wow, that sucks.
All right, what place are you looking at? Where's it going to be next year? Where can I come find you next year?
So next year we're going to be up in Schaumburg, actually at the hotel where we started Collision Con off back in 2010, the Hyatt Regency up there in Schaumburg, right off the highway, right next to the mall. It's an awesome venue. We just poked by there again this past week. They're remodeling the whole facility right now, so it's going to be brand new for us by the time we roll in there in November.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I just have one request for next year Collision Con. Give us a decent-sized room for cosplay foam fighting.
About that.
Grant, you just don't ask for things like that.
It had to be said. I'm sorry.
You never go full tilt in the beginning.
we gotta butter him up first, liquor him up. I mean, that's how I got amped.
Haven't you heard of Honey Dickin'?
You honey dickin', bro?
You honey dickin', bro?
Oh,
Hey, it never hurts to ask.
I got a question for you. Have you ever heard of the Tinley Park Hilton Convention Center?
Yes.
Okay, now I've been talking about this with a lot of people, and I am a completely ignorant person, and I have no idea about the convention scene and how all that works. But I look at that place, and I look at it from like the outside situation. It's great location. It's right off the interstate, completely next to Indiana, not to mention too far off of Ohio. It has not only the Hilton that's in the same area, but 4 other hotels across the damn street, a Japanese ramen shop, as well as a Mediterranean place and Al's Beef. And if you haven't had Al's Beef yet, get out there. Al's Beef, sponsor us.
Chris, you're talking about the Holiday Inn, not Hilton.
Yeah, you know what I meant. You know where you get like free, you got Holiday Inn points.
Yeah, I know. But if
like,
we're gonna say something, be right.
Shh. First time for everything. I can be wrong once in a while. Okay, but Chris, I know you said you've heard of it. Has anyone ever approached that place? Because I've never thought about it.
Actually, before I started Collision Con, I worked for a bunch of other shows, and one of the shows I worked for, I was the venue guy, so I'd go out and scout all these locations, and I did approach them back in something like 2006, 2007. Unfortunately, still today, I know some other shows that have approached them, and I can't really talk about that. Yeah. But the problem is, even though there is that Holiday Inn connected, it's treated as 2 different facilities. So you'd have to contract with the Holiday Inn, and you'd have to contract with the convention center. And that, logistically, isn't the worst, but financially is a nightmare.
Oh, wow.
Okay, all right. So that'd be something you have to sit down with lawyers and get like a whole deal with if you wanted to. If someone wanted to get that figured out. Because that place to me, I'm like, keep looking at it going, I wouldn't have to get a hotel for once. I live like literally, that's 183rd in Harlem, pretty much 183rd, close to Cicero. I live at 167th in Cicero. That's the first con I would not have to drive like 45 minutes to an hour to get to, and I'd be excited about that.
Nice.
Mark, got any questions, man?
What was this? This is my first time at Collision Con, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, because I haven't been to Collision Con. I've been to several other conventions. I try to remember every single one of them for experience purposes. I actually enjoyed it. Doing my first panel was exciting. I never thought I would ever do a panel in my entire life when I go to conventions, because I always thought I would be like, I'm just the guy that just likes anime, right? Always thought that. And then one day Bruce goes like, hey, let's do a radio show. Okay. Hey, by the way, we have a panel. Okay. I can do that. What do we got to do? Just sit up there and talk? Oh, so what we do normally. That's fine. The biggest worry that we were worried that we weren't going to get enough people to show up for our panel. That was like our big concern. But surprise, surprise, we had the most people show up for our panel.
We were just going to hold CFF hostage until they sat and listened to us talk for an hour.
Exactly. I was like, if you're in here for CFF, you have to sit here and wait. Listen to us talk, or else you can't fight. Sad face.
We may or may not have held that room hostage.
Maybe.
I think we did.
But, what did you think? Like, did you think that it was going to be a bigger blowout than what you expected? I mean, you said you were relatively satisfied.
Yeah, so programming-wise, all of the planning stuff, all of that went great.
Okay.
Attendance was a little bit lower than we expeced.
Okay.
We weren't expecting a huge turnout this year, but it was a little bit lower than our
It did seem like it was less people,
which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate for everybody, because panels are lighter, all the programming's a little bit lighter, the crowds are a little bit lighter, but, CFF didn't have any problem, and apparently your panel didn't have any problem.
Right. I love, surprise, surprise, the guys that do Comic Clowns and CFF get more people.
No, it's not crazy with that. I'm gonna be honest. I invited nobody to that panel. Birdie literally just brought a string of people.
It was Birdie who brought strings of people, and then more people decided to show up because I guess they were just listening to us from the outside.
We were loud.
We were pretty loud. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
I am not. Okay.
Really, Bruce? I am not loud.
It's like, don't say anything, Bruce. You know what you did.
Yeah, but I was very, very sad that we beat out the Rave again.
I am never sad about that. Okay, so don't feel bad about the Rave. We beat your Rave the first time. We beat your Rave the second time. We beat Amkeys. We beat Apox.
Everywhere we go, we somehow beat the Rave.
Because people leave the Rave going, well, that was fun. I'm going to beat the hell out of somebody. I'm angry at this.
I was so angry that the Rave sucked. Let's go beat each other up.
It's a stress reliever.
I'm telling you, I don't know if we ever got to take our first experience at Collision Con. Was we were sitting there and we had people for the first year show up, and Chris ran into a bunch of people Like, he's like, hey, you adults, you're with these kids. Go fight them. Oh, we're teachers. We can't beat up students. Wait, this is a field trip? Wow. And it literally was a field trip.
I was surprised by that.
Oh my God, it's a field trip.
When did we get a field trip out of this? Well, that's going to be it for the first segment. We'll be right back after a commercial break. We'll come back. We'll have Chris back in here. We're going to ask some more questions. We're going to field some more interviews. We're going to see what other people thought about it. And we want you guys to go online on this YouTube video on our Facebook page and tell us what you thought of the convention or what you think about it or what could be done. Give us some advice. Give us some advice here and there. We'll be right back. We'll see you guys in a second.
I'll take it.
This is Kyle Darth Cooch Cookenbecker coming to you from WCGO out in Evanston, Illinois. You can find us at Facebook at Comic Clowns Podcast or on Twitter at Comic Clowns Pod. We look forward to seeing you soon.
It's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max. So just sit back and relax, you'll laugh, you can laugh. We're Animaniacs.
I'm just in firm belief I'm just picking songs now to see what the reaction inside the booth is.
Yeah, Mark was way too excited about that one.
I love Animaniacs.
Who doesn't love Animaniacs? I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I enjoy the crap out of them.
Good night, everybody.
And I mean, we're talking anime conventions. So I figure it's almost appropriate. I just wish we would have used it when we did that. When Denny labeled the podcast the Animaniacs.
I know that would be great.
Americans.
The Americans. Yeah,
that was another good.
That would have been great.
I got to give it to you. Like, I'm going to stick with Denny. He's our producer, editor, things of that nature. I just sit around here just so I can have another microphone and they don't get to be near me when I say things that are offensive. So my fellow castmates can't punch me, except for the ones behind me. Yeah, no. So he was the one that comes up with all the names and everything else, and we bless his heart for that stuff. He's been helping us out for so long. Now we got Minuteman in the booth. You can wave or say hi or fucking something.
I could do both, but that's a lot of brain power right now.
And we all know you don't have much to spare. All right, I got the joke out. Everyone was waiting on it.
Sad.
Everyone got the joke. All right, so Nick, you were at the event. What did you think of the whole thing?
All right, yeah, I think the general consensus is it was a smaller con. Not sure, because it's my first time going, I don't know if that was the average population of the con, or if there's usually more people or less people. So I really can't comment on that. Have you ever had a separate vendor hall and artist alley? Or are they always combined?
Yeah, we used to.
Hey, Nick, I need you to do me a favor, buddy.
Yeah, what's up?
I need your balls to drop.
Not happening today.
And I need you to speak louder.
I have you all the way up.
I'll be able to hear you.
All right, so how about this? How we got it?
That should be better.
That
and they'll get to hear our sound check.
Oh, okay. That's how I love it.
All right, go ahead, guys.
All right. So they're usually combined like that?
Yeah, the first couple of years we did them separate, but it's actually easier on the artists if we put them in there because then they don't have to tear down their booths at the end every night.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. So I would say I give it an easy 7.5 as an experience. It's a bit smaller. People they wanted to go to just what they wanted to go to. I've noticed that if people who came to us, they were always coming to us for CFF or the podcast.
Yeah.
I saw people when I walked around, never came anywhere near us. They either stayed in the game hall the entire convention, or they went off to those little side panels, or they were next to the fireplace. Like, I was there for 3 days, and I saw the same 5 people just sitting by the fireplace for 12 hours. I'm like, that is a very weird group.
That is oddly strange.
You ever notice them? They were the same 5 people. They were always just right next to the fireplace.
That is weird.
Was the fireplace even going?
No, it wasn't going. It wasn't going at all.
Yeah, but no. Otherwise, it was actually a pretty good experience. Mainly self-promotion, so we're going to go for that. That's what I
Right.
it. The game hall was pretty well set up. It was kind of cool that they had games and like they had D&D running at the same time.
Yes.
Quick little D&D little missions you could do. That was actually pretty fun. I'm like, oh.
I was all over them Battletoads.
Yeah, you were.
Battletoads.
Do you have Battletoads? That was a very important question. But, oh yeah, why can't we get one of the bigger rooms, man, for CFF?
I'm not the only one that's hoping for this.
let's face it, the only way that, Grant or Nick here stands a chance of getting laid if he just shoves it on in there and goes right after Chris.
No more honey dicking, I guess. Jesus.
Nope, we're just doing it.
No, we're going to German style. We're just going raw.
Bite the pillow, going in dry.
Should have brought my lube.
No.
See, at least you admit it. No, because I think some of us noticed it is we had to hold people back a lot because some people just get really animated, and there were some folks who were just beelining it for those windows.
Oh yeah.
Or they were going for high swings and knocking out panels or going for the chandeliers. I'm like, yeah, can we not do that, guys? You can see the roof above your head. Don't put your hand higher than that.
So the room that we had main programming and the room that we had the vendor hall in, there's actually 2 more of those ballrooms, but just like that fireplace area, we just couldn't get it locked down on contract. You guys were actually supposed to be in one of those rooms.
It felt like we were supposed to have one of those.
Chris, let's be honest. You did not want to give us one of those rooms because there's a bar attached to that thing.
Would have been nice.
Alcohol and fighting.
All right. Every time you get killed, you take a shot. Why not? You and the war chief. We're just gonna do body shot. I mean,
If that's the case, I would have been permadead.
You guys would never have left that room if there was a bar and the CFF room.
We have to leave. Chris is just hiding in the corner. He's like, "You're not moving him. We'll be back in a couple hours."
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it wouldn't be any different from APOC when we.
Oh, jeez.
We brought the bar to us there.
Yeah,
God, yeah,
it's true.
Nothing like watching security go back and forth in your room when you have nothing but alcohol, but apparently something bigger's happening, so no one stops you from drinking.
Yeah, they all just walk by.
Literally, they came by and
you.
looked at us and went, "You guys are not a blip on our. What you're doing is wrong, but you're not a blip on our radar."
Exactly.
Right
You're wrong, but we're not going to stop you. I love it.
It'll flub you.
How drunk can you guys get for the night? All right, let's fight.
Yep.
Grant, I just got a question for you, man. Like I told you before, like we all had our large conversations while we were there, and I told you we're gonna make you center stage because you are. I'm telling you, adorable. I'm telling you, just get there and everyone loves you. I mean, they can just pinch your cheeks.
Please don't.
We're going full church lady.
Please don't pinch my arms. So I owe $1.
I look straight at you too. I'm like, Bruce. We talked about this.
I know we did. Me and Grant owe $1. But how did it feel? Like we got you to sit down with Roll for Damage. And I wanted to get you out there because you get to start talking to people, make you our YouTube guy. And I wanted you to do an interview. How did it feel going with another cosplay group like Roll for Damage? 'Cause I really like their stuff. So what'd you think?
Well, actually, when I went by them for the first time when I went around the vendor hall, they were actually one of the most creative people I've actually seen out in the vendor hall area as far as for cosplaying equipment and all that, because some of them were... I almost thought that a few of their products were actually legit plate armor for like either the knees or for the shoulders. When I look back, no, it's actually 2 pieces of foam that have been detailed behind a knee pad. I'm like, okay, this is something I never thought of doing, and that's very creative.
Well, yeah, it's
The motorcycle armor.
Yes!
That was awesome.
It's like I could see that one for like a good either Borderlands or Borderlands 2 cosplay. You could use something like that.
Mad Max.
Yes.
Max, yeah.
Mad Max,
I mean, you gotta
Fallout.
like them. They're out of what? Where do they say they're from? From Southern Carbondale. Thank you, Carbondale, Southern Illinois.
So it's like they had, you guys had a few local people at the vendor hall, right? For Collision Con?
Yeah.
Who was your favorite vendor there, Chris? Collision Con?
Honestly, I didn't have enough time to really poke around. The guys you're talking about that had that awesome like Mad Max armor was really cool, but as the showrunner, I can't really pick a favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like a mom. I love all my kids.
So if we took a gun to every single vendor, would you actually choose them?
Have they paid yet?
That's his favorite.
There we go. The one who pays first.
The check's clear? Yeah, that one. Keep it.
That one, keep him.
So if you could have done anything differently, anything at all, what would it have been for this event?
That's a really big question. I think the easiest answer is more attendees, because that would have made a lot of people's weekends a little bit better.
Okay. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, then if it would be nice, if more people were to show up. But
It was Thanksgiving weekend.
It was
so-
also Thanksgiving weekend. I mean, you had to battle a holiday.
Black Friday.
Black Friday. People actually probably spent all their money
Holiday lull.
Couldn't even
I
go.
want to sleep.
Chris, let's try this one more time.
Oh, no.
What could you have controlled about the venue? Would you have changed? I mean, like, would it have been the venue been different? Would you have had different locations for different things? Would you have had different vendors there that you would, more vendors you would have wanted? Would you, I mean, aside from getting that third and fourth giant room that we talked about?
The extra space is absolutely, if we're playing the if game, that would be the first one, is that extra space, because we could have promoted better, we could have had more things going on. The programming could have been more solid. I was actually decently happy with Thanksgiving weekend. It's not the first time we've done it. Last time we did it, it was very, very successful. What happened is everybody spent Thanksgiving Thursday with their family, and then came on out and bought presents for all their friends and family. And the crowds were just huge. It was families. That was really great. That's kind of what we were anticipating this year to happen. But 2016 has just been weird. In case you've been asleep for the last year,
Right, it has been weird.
Yeah.
We lost Bowie, man. Come on, we can't recover from that.
Bowie.
All right, so aside from that, I'm still trying to institute my con policy of anyone under 18 gets a different colored badge. Because there were a couple instances where I thought we were talking to people, and they're like, "Oh, I'm 16 this year," and I gotta walk away now.
This is Kyle's first convention,
Pretty
so
bad.
this is his first time actually experiencing that. He's like, "Wow, she's cute. She's 15. That's entrapment." That's a trap.
It was pretty bad. I've talked to her. She's 14. Done.
I will admit that's pretty bad.
There used to be a show that I was affiliated with, which I'm not going to mention the name.
Okay.
It's been way too long trying to distance ourselves from them.
Okay.
They used to do a badge system like a stoplight. It was green, yellow, red. Red was they were absolutely underage. Yellow was they weren't a minor, but they can't drink.
Okay.
Okay.
So like late teens.
Yeah, you're 18, 19, 20.
20. Yeah. And then green was 21 plus.
Gotcha.
And that was set up specifically for understanding who you were talking to. Now, legally, that gets the show into some hot water, which is why we haven't ever picked that up.
Right.
So I do understand where you're coming from, but it's not something that you could really expect us to change.
That's why you always have to ask the question, how old are you?
No. That's a lie, and we both know it.
That's
They're just
true.
going to lie about that. Can I see your driver's license
Yeah.
or state ID?
It's like,
I don't have one yet. Thank you.
That's right.
It's like I take my driver's test next week, and we're done.
And we're done. Yes.
Have a nice day.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're underage. A person that's 30 probably never, has driven before, and they're probably of age.
But they'll still
You
have
can
an ID.
gamble with that, please.
If you're willing to roll that fucking dice, let's do it.
I mean, if they clearly look like they're young, yes. Be like, okay, don't worry about it. But if they clearly look like they're adults, I'm like,
Wow, this whole thing just
away
became
with
really iffy really quick. This
In
whole
other words,
conversation.
he's gonna throw a crit fail.
Crit fail. Semantics.
We're just having locker room talk right now. Come on.
I'll kill you for less. Don't you ever say that. Jeez.
Where do we go with this? Where are we going?
Where's a good segue?
All right.
Do I have a segue for that one? No,
So
I
can we get
don't.
another panel next year? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you put in for it. You guys are welcome to come back.
Oh,
sweet.
Mark, how'd you feel about the panel? I know you talked about it a little before. You didn't anticipate what we were going to do, but how was your overall feeling of it? Because I enjoyed it. You put me in front of a room, I'm going to fucking talk.
I know, yeah, you're really good. You'll just sit there and talk all day, even though, drink a
yeah.
couple beers, which we did not do.
Until the YouTube video comes out, I didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything. Right. I actually was very excited, a little nervous, because, speaking in front of so many people with our podcast, I mean, yeah, we talk right now, but we're in a closed space. Not too many people actually come by, and the people that do come by already know us, so it's not a big deal. But brand new people that probably don't even listen to our show, are they going to actually like us?
The Genos cosplayer that someone idiot looked at and went, "Hey, that's Jax." Come on.
And I thought it was great because we actually did display our own personalities, for people, so they can actually now get a feel of our faces. Besides the cameras.
Yeah.
Grant dressed up as Gother. That was fantastic. Minuteman dressing up.
I gotta ask, Grant, did you actually take that picture as Gother the next day?
Actually, that never happened.
He did not.
then the answer is no.
Could just say no.
Oh,
Say
with
no.
the girl that wanted to take a
Yeah,
picture
the
of-
chick that wanted to go with her.
But fair is fair. She also did not dress up as Elizabeth. So,
See, that's the
so
thing.
neither
If-
party
if-
did deliver.
If they didn't deliver, seal sign deliver. I mean, as a new media face, if she would have showed up to you as Elizabeth, you would have been contractually obligated by Comic Clowns to go back to your room, dress up as Gother, and come back and get that picture.
But I already checked out.
Too bad.
Didn't get naked in the middle of the hallway. Who cares?
That's never stopped me.
Arms everywhere.
But yeah,
Jump
no,
in the room.
all around, I actually enjoyed myself.
I enjoyed the living crap
for the panel.
I tried to, when people were asking questions, to instead of me just answering first, I decided I wanted to get everyone else to get a chance in there.
Right.
That's why I started passing it to everyone else around me before I answered. Plus, I knew I'd have the best answer, so it sucks to be the best of you.
I think he needs a wheelbarrow for that, big ego of his. Oh,
Yeah, no, my ego's not that
Backfires.
big.
Are you sure?
No, it's bigger.
That's big.
No, he needs a tour bus.
It is a tour bus.
No, I need a freaking hammer, dwarf. Get on that. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Working on that.
But Collision Con or Chris, I'll have a Collision Con. See, I got Chris in there, and it's really
Just
difficult.
call me Enforcer, Jesus.
Or protagonist.
I can't. I call everyone by their first name.
Player
It's a habit. So we're looking towards next year. We got the location. What'd you have in mind so far? Let's get so some hints, some thought. What can we look towards? Because I know we're going to be there. I'm putting in. I just need to make sure I got that speaker ready. Maybe a couple but that's that's side stuff. But what can we expect this upcoming year?
Very different, actually. We are going a slightly different direction. There's going to be a lot of that coming out. I know all about it because I'm the one behind it, but I can't talk about it yet, unfortunately.
Okay.
If we got back together in like another month or two, absolutely give you guys some details. We have our guest list already. Not locked down. Nobody's on contract yet, but we're already reaching out. All the wheels are in motion. Expect a very different show. It's going to be the same sort of family feel, and that's something that we really like. All of our staff feel like family. Everybody that was there, partially because the turnout was lower than we expected, but it did feel, like a not homey in a bad way. But everybody felt really comfortable there. So we're looking for that. Very, very different direction otherwise, though. The programming's going to be on point. CFF's going to be there killing it. Maybe outside, maybe in the lobby. We'll see how dry we get today.
Okay, that makes sense.
But, we're really excited with this new sort of direction.
Come on, you got give us at least a guest name that you're trying for. Give us something here.
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Oh, come on.
That's what he gave us. He just basically said, "Bring me back to the club."
This is what happens when you don't honey dick enough. You guys cannot get what you want.
This man
We
feels
went
like he's
early.
about to be jumped by Grant and Nick. Here's the worst part. I'm asking as part of Comic Clowns, not even cosplay phone fighting, but they're diving right into that. Where do your people's allegiances lie?
I know, right?
You guys made me a judge without any prior warning. I'm like, all right, I got the power here tonight. Let's do this. You don't count anymore. Oh, crap, they're looking at me.
I mean, well, yeah, that's just happened.
I started off with saying you're going to bring us back as a panel. He said yes, so we got that. Although you did clearly just bribe us to say you want to find out more, bring me back next month.
I talk about.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. He also said if we just put in for it, we're going to get it. I mean,
Right, yeah.
It makes me feel like if I put in one that I just want to sit around and talk about baking goods, I can get that panel as well.
You know, surprisingly, I feel like we just answered our questions. Like, who do we expect to be there? Comic Clowns?
Who else is going to be there? Who are you going to get on that list? Comic Clowns? Well,
Smaller question.
of course we're
You're
coming.
going to have the main room style like you did this year, right? With
So
AV
very
setup?
similar layout.
All right. Can we push to get put in there?
Honestly,
Yeah.
like before I even came here, before we were talking about dry dickings,
I'm not regretting it.
and it was already a thing.
Okay.
Like as part of planning, like CFF is such a big draw for us, and especially with what we're going to be going for. And we'll talk a little bit after this, and we'll maybe be able to touch on this if you invite me back. But I mean, that's on you guys.
I see where you're going with this.
No,
I see now.
wasn't asking about CFF. I don't care where you.
I
put
feel
it.
like he's
trust
honey
you.
dicking us now.
I know. That's how I feel.
Wait, does anyone else feel that little tickle he's giving us? He's giving us a little tickle right now.
I feel like
No,
Chris
no,
is.
yeah.
I feel like Chris is the one that's honorable enough to give us a reach around. So
He's happy ending for everybody.
there we go.
All right, no, I wasn't asking about CFF. I was asking about the Climate Clowns. Get us into the AV room.
Okay, so you guys want to do that in Maine?
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be nice.
Oh, that would actually be fun.
That'd be awesome.
What my whole panel thing was, I wanted to put a microphone, like you see one of those like weird talk shows. You put a microphone in like the middle of the room, and you have someone come up to the mic and spit a question at us.
Okay, so here's something I can share with you guys.
All right.
Okay.
Sweet.
One of the big differences going forward is that main programming room that we're going to have is going to be fully streamed online.
Oh.
Did you just make more work for me?
So we need a badge for Denny.
IT to the rescue.
The networking team needs a badge now. Well, actually,
Clowns to
I'm going to tell you one thing
rescue.
that CFF plans on doing. While we were at Collision Con, we bought a big-ass dice. It was awesome. And,
I know where you're going with
we're
this.
doing
and we and Grant just picks it up and he goes, "Quick, roll for attack," and just does that, and I just stopped, and like literally it was like the Epiphany toilet from Scrubs.
Bruce had an
Except I didn't
epiphany.
Shit my pants. And we decided we're gonna turn one whole day into a giant game of Dungeons and Dragons, CFF style.
It's like you talked to Mike 2 years ago in that private conversation we had.
There's a difference. I'm actually going to do it.
That's a good thing he doesn't listen
Shots
to us.
fired! All right.
That's another $1.
Yep, that's it. Another $1. That's $2.
$2 now.
Yep, I'll take it. So let's go ahead. We're going to close on that note. I want to thank Collision Con Chris for coming out again for us today in this nice snowy day.
Oh, yeah.
My name is Bruce War Chief Hoover.
Mark the Dwarf Kokiachuk.
Chris, the Enforcer Vasquez.
Barely hear him.
Grant Gracchus 4047 color.
And Nick, the Minuteman Clark.
And we'll see you guys next time. And I'm going to leave you with something very glorious. Have a good night.
Welcome to the Badass Crater Badassitude, badass! This is Mr. Torg, broadcasting to you from deep orbit. If you're here, that means you want to win our tournament. Open the vault and earn the title of #1 badass. Now, before you get started, you gotta digitally...